It's important to say this does need more work. It's not in the ready-to-use form right now.
Dieters hopeful a hunger-busting plant will deliver this. One of those glorious how did she get it bodies. Seemingly everywhere, except in the mirror. For today, Janet Shamlian, NBC News, Dallas.
We just told you about a plant called Hoodia that some say can be turned into a magic weight loss pill that will get rid of hunger pangs, but does it really work? And more importantly, is it really safe? Madeline Fernstrom is the director of Weight Management Center at the University of Pittsburgh. Hey, Madeline, good morning. Nice to see you. All right, so what exactly is Hoodia? It's this sort of soft stuff in the middle of a cactus found in South Africa, is that right?
Hoodia is a plant that grows naturally in South Africa. It's cucumber-like. Think of it as a long cucumber with a lot of spikes. It's like a cactus. And what you do is the material inside, or the sap, you peel off the prickly stuff, and then you have a compound. So it's actually biologically an active compound that will supposedly prevent hunger. Now, how do we know this? From the South African Bushmen who use this in long-term hunting where they want to suppress hunger while they're foraging for food. That's different from using it here where we have food available 24 hours a day.
But what do you think about it now when it's now in pill form? Because as you well know, this is a hugely popular diet supplement, and I know a lot of folks are talking to you about it. So are you recommending it? Do you say it works, or are there caveats? What?
You know, in a perfect world, if we could have a Hoodia plant growing in our backyard like we have aloe, we could take a little chew and say perhaps it would do something. It's not surprising, Katie, that in nature there are things that activate, like cola nuts, like coca leaves, things that sedate, and something that would naturally suppress appetite for the ebb and flow of life.
Well, so many drugs are from natural products, you know, from the yew tree or whatever, and things like that.
So the biggest difference is when you take this and extract it and put it in the pill, it doesn't make it bad, but we don't know right now whether it's pure, how much is authentic, are there other contaminants that could be added to this? Because oftentimes for a weight loss compound, there are things we don't know about.
And these aren't FDA regulated, most importantly, right? Like any herbal supplement.
Right. Any dietary supplement can be promoted. It may not, it doesn't have to have any other regulation. The thing that is important to know is there are contaminants that are not tested. You don't know the dose, even though it looks like a prescription medication and there's instructions on the bottle. There's not even a dosage for Hoodia right now. So how do you translate chewing on a piece that's the size of a banana to what's the dose? Is it 400 milligrams, 700 milligrams? And if you look at the preparations, there's all kinds of recommendations. Take it 3 times a day. Take 2 capsules. Take it an hour before you eat. Take it immediately before you eat. So since there is no information, it's all speculation.
But you've had people who have been on this, I'm assuming, or you've talked to people who have tried it.
Sure.
Does it work?
Well, you know, it's something, if you think it's working, sometimes
I was going to say, is it the placebo effect?
You know, you can have a very strong placebo effect for something like this. I have patients who I encourage to tell me, what are you trying? Because you don't want them to hide it. Some people have tried it. They haven't gotten sick. This doesn't mean that there's not any negative side effects with that, because most of these are self-reports. People will take it, say, I think it helped me. Maybe, you know, 1 out of 5 people say, was it helpful? Whether it was the active compound or not is difficult to say because you still don't know how much of the pure compound is there.
Right. Well, so what would you advise consumers? Because I know a lot of women out there are thinking, gee, I'm going to go to the health food store and buy some of this stuff. Are there some brands that are better than others? I know that for example, GNC says this is the only Hoodia from the South African cactus plant that's available on the market. Can you trust claims like that? Or, you know, how should you judge which Hoodia to buy?
Okay. We all believe that on the internet everything must be true. You cannot trust the claims that are made by any companies because there is no regulation. The best thing to do is to make sure, if you're going to try this, that there's an 800 number or a site that you can visit to see what is the demonstration that there's some purity. Give me some idea more than you're just telling me it's pure or authentic.
And you should probably talk to a doctor about it too, right?
You must talk to your doctor, especially if you take any medications that are going to be affecting your brain or other illnesses you take, because if there is enough biological activity in the particular pill, it might interfere with the actions of prescription medications, and you don't want that.
That's true, and that's so important because herbal supplements can have bad interactions with other drugs. Well, Madeline Fernstrom, thanks so much for coming by this morning and explain a little about Hoodia, but obviously we should probably learn more about it too.